Hey everyone, hello, my name is Cheryl Horvath. If you've not been to my channel before, welcome. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Woodinville, Washington, and today I have a really fun project to share with you. I posted it on Facebook, I think yesterday, and my Facebook has just been blowing up. Everybody wants to see the tutorial on how to do this, so I thought I would give it a shot and show you guys how I made this awesome calendar. So let me turn my camera around and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I posted yesterday was what I call a DIY 2022, let's get that out of the way, a DIY 2022 handmade calendar that looks like this, and it is freestanding. It does not need a stand. You can see it's pretty bulky, which is why it stands all by itself, which was a happy surprise for me, because I was thinking I was going to have to build a stand for this sucker, but I don't. It just stands all on its own, and you know, you can flip through it. It doesn't fall over. It's actually really quite sturdy. So I thought I would share with you how I made this, and I wanted to share with you the different stamp sets that I used. I tried to use all current sets, and I landed on May, and I forgot that the Berry Blessing stamp set was a celebration set. So this set's no longer available, and since I'm outing myself, I should also tell you that this set is also not available any longer, and can't remember, You're All Heart or something like that, I think is what it's called. I'll have to look at my supply sheet to say for certain what it was, and it was Many Hearts. So I didn't use any stamps from the Many Hearts stamp set, but I did use the dies, and so the dies look like this. And if you have this set from the last season, then awesome. You could use the heart punch pack if you had that to do some dice. Anyway, I digress. So I used the Days to Remember stamp set to hand stamp all of these calendars. Somebody asked me if I had printed them out. No, I did not. I used the stamp set, and I'm going to show you how I used it so that you're not freaked out, because it's really not that hard to do. Some people look at this big long stamp. It looks like this when you have it on a block, and it's kind of confusing because it starts with number 1 and goes to 7, and then over here it starts with 2 and goes to 14, and so on and so forth. So it's in a pattern that allows you to figure out what day of the month your month starts on. So for example, May, the day of the month starts on a Sunday, and so I'll show you when we get all the stuff out how I do it, and make sure everything's the way it should be. Okay, so this is the stamp set that is like the primary set for this project, because it's got all the days of the month, and it's got a couple little cute sentiments that you can use, and then it's got Monday through Sunday for the calendar headings, or it also has a Sunday to Saturday, which is the one that I use because that to me is the standard one, but some people like to start their week on a Monday. Okay, so that's that. Let me get into some measurements. This original calendar, I'm going to call it V1, is a little different measurement. It was 6 1/4. This, the back base was 6 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then the DSP was cut to 5 by 6. And somebody said, oh, I think her name was Mary something. She's in. She posted. Kind of said if she were doing it, she would have done a 5 by 6 base so that you could get 4 pieces out of one 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, or 2 pieces out of an 8.5 by 11. So I thought that was a great idea. I don't think about that stuff in advance really when I'm designing. I think how I did this is I started with a 6 by 6 piece of designer series paper, and then decided, oh, it needed to be on a background. So then I cut the background a 1/4 inch larger, and that's how I ended up at 5 1/4 by 6 1/4. But to make it easy, we are going to redo this calendar in 5 by 6. So let's get started. The colors that I chose for this particular calendar page is the Soft Succulent and the Pansy Petals designer series paper. So that's what these pieces are. This is the calendar border. So your calendar is going to get stamped on this white piece, and then your calendar border was cut using the Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I used the second largest one. Make sure I did that right. Yes. So the second largest rectangular scallop die is the one I used, and then the size of the white cardstock that we're going to stamp on is 3 1/4 by 2 1/8. And I will link to the PDF file that has all those dimensions in it for you. So, but let's get into the stamping because that's the fun part. We are going to start with my Stampin' Pierce mat because we're using the photopolymer stamps. And I always like to protect it with a piece of my grid paper. Then we're going to use the Soft Succulent ink for the numbers of the calendar, and then for the header, I was doing all the headers in black, but you can switch it up, and I was thinking about doing Bumblebee because it matches the other DSP. So the way this is going to work is pull out a calendar that you know is accurate to find out what day of the month in 2022 or whatever year you're working on your month starts on. Like I said, for May, which is what we're going to use this time, the month starts on a Sunday, which is convenient. But like if you flipped back to, say, February, the month starts on a Tuesday, and don't forget there's only 28 days in February. So you need to remember that when you're stamping. There's actually 31 days in May, so I can stamp everything up and not have to wipe any numbers off. I'll show you what I mean. So because the month starts on a Sunday, we're going to put down our, actually let's go at the top down. So we're going to put our month down first, and I'm going to do that in the Soft Succulent. And I use my grid paper to make sure my paper is straight before I'm going to stamp. And then I'm going to put this right up there in the upper top corner, just like that. Then I'm going to come in with my headings, my day of the week. Whoa, just got ink all over me. And I'm going to center that just by eyeballing it. And I'm going to do it right about there. And having the grid paper really does offer some guidance on that without having to use pencil marks on your paper. Then we're going to move to inking up the days for the month. So the interesting part is this stamp set was, I can almost guarantee, designed around the width of this ink pad that Stampin' Up! Makes. Because if you mark up the days of the week for 1 month, it exactly matches the width. So for example, we're going to start with the number 1, and that's going to be our Sunday. So we're going to have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 1 through 7, which means we want this whole square rectangle inked up. That happens to perfectly match the width of this ink pad. So you just take it straight down and you ink up your numbers. And we're going to line it up underneath the headings, the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday headings, and go straight down with it. And it's as easy as that. Turned out beautiful. So we're going to do another one because I want to show you the difference in months. So let me clean this up. And let's do June. So June has 30 days in the month, and it starts on a Wednesday. So we're going to go back to our, we're going to do the month first. Let's trade this out for June. That's April. You know, I have to say, I am really not a fan of the upside down, the new way that Stampin' Up! Is putting, I just don't read backwards very well, so I don't like it. Let me just say that outright. I don't like it. Okay, so we're doing June, so stamp this up. Keep your paper as straight as you can. We're going to put June down here in the upper right hand corner, just like so. Then we're going to take our days of the week and center it best we can, just like so. Oh, I smudged a little bit there. Okay, and so now June starts on a Wednesday. So the number 1 has to fall under the W here, like this. So we need to ink up from here, this row, starting with the 5, all the way over to the 4. So you guys see that? So we're going to, let's see, I need a piece of paper. So what did I say, Wednesday? Yeah. So we're going to ink up from here to here. Can you guys see that? So there's one, and then it's going to go down just like that. So when we lay this down on our ink pad, we want to make sure that the row starting with 5, we don't go ink past that side of it. So we start with 5, and then it just perfectly falls down. So if you always have the left side with the right day of the week lined up, you will, I'm not explaining this very good, but you'll get it right. It's hard to explain. It just works though. So then you're going to take your 1 and line it up under your W. Oh, and I didn't wipe off the 31. There's only 30 days in June. So now you got to, and I've done this a couple times, you got to just pay attention. So do you just come in and wipe off the 31? Really good. Try not to smudge any of the other ones. Line up that 1 under your W. Press it. And there you go. Now you've got June with no 31. So it's as easy as that. It's really a fun stamp set. I love creating calendars. Ever since I was little, I have an old scrapbook of calendars that I hand drew and colored with colored pencils and on just like printer paper, and I made a whole calendar. I just have always loved calendars. So when this set came out, I had to have it. The set currently is available for $17. It's in the annual catalog. And so you should go grab it if you haven't yet and you're interested in making these calendars. All right, so let's put this card together. The one thing I wanted to mention in the design phase, where's my May? There it is. That you want to be cognizant of when you're designing your calendar page. Mine's going to start out like this, is you are going to have to punch a hole up at the top, and that's what's going to hold our calendar together. So you're going to have to punch a hole up here, and I made a little template that helped me keep things straight. So what I did was I measured in about 1.25 inches on each side, and then so what I did was I drew a line before I stamped it. Let me just do this. I'll do a fresh one. So we need a piece of cardstock that's as wide as our base, which this is exactly the same size. So we're going to start with about 3/8 of an inch down. That's what I figured was a pretty good place without impeding too far down into your design. So I'm just going to make 3/8 of an inch mark here. And I'm going to draw a line like so. Then I'm going to measure in 1.25 inches here and 1.25 inches on this side right there. And where those two lines intersect is where I'm going to punch my hole. And the punch that I have is a Fisker's punch. I don't even know how old this is. I've had it for years. But I couldn't even tell you how big that hole is. The hole size looks to be 2/8 of an inch in diameter, if that matters. So then I'm just going to punch this out. I'm going to line up my punch so that it's in that intersecting area, just like that. Mine was a little bit off, but that's all right. This is the template, so it's there. So now I've got my 2 holes punched. Now, when I go back, when my project is done, my pages are done, and I go back to punch, all I do is I lay this down on top of my base, and I just do that. And in fact, if you did it before you design your card front, you would at least know to kind of avoid these 2 areas, because you're going to know now that I'm going to punch here, and you don't want to put a sequin or any kind of embellishment right there that you'd have to punch out. So that can be helpful. Okay, so that's the guide on how to do the template for punching the holes. Now we're going to just pretty much assemble, and I'm a liquid glue gal because I like the wiggle room. I like to be able to have time to, especially when I'm trying to center things perfectly. I find that when I use the Stampin' Seal, once you get it down, it's very hard to get back up. All right, so we're going to put this down. And I always use the tweezers just because I don't like getting glue on my hands. It seems inevitable that if I try to pick it up with my clumsy fingers, I'm going to get sticky glue all over me. So I have my tweezers by my side all the time. This gets popped up with some dimensionals, and sometimes you may or may not have to leave some room to slide some components of your design behind this design, and I'll show you what I mean, because I think I'm going to do it with this one. Okay, so on the finished one, I made one ahead of time. See this? It slid behind here, and if I would have had a dimensional right here, I wouldn't have been able to figure it in. So what did I do? I put a dimensional right there. Well, we'll figure that part out. But just keep in mind when you're designing where you want your dimensionals to go. Okay, so next, well, let's glue this piece down while we have it out. And this is just going to go up here. I'm going to use the pattern paper as my guide for my straight line. That looks good. And the set that we're going to use is Garden Wishes. I'm going to stamp this little guy out in Bumblebee. The fun thing about this project is, man, the sky's the limit. You can get so creative. You can put images on it. You could just leave it blank, and you could take the month off here and put a banner up here and just have May if you didn't feel like doing a whole lot of decorating. There's really a lot that you can do with this whole setup. So I just have some scrap basic white here, stamp this up with some bumblebee. Okay, clean that off. That's going to get die cut along with some other components. So the other pieces, this Garden Wishes is also a current stamp set. I don't think we need any more ink from this guy. No, we don't. And I'm going to close this until we get ready to do the sentiment. So this is a current set called Garden Wishes. It does have coordinating DSP, but that has been retired. And I have a ton of it, but I didn't want to use it because I wanted to use current stuff. So these dies are awesome because they cut this out. I love these little wispy things. So that's what we're going to use today. So that's this die. And then these look like little pieces of grass. And I'm just going to cut those out in basic white. And you'll notice that I don't need the entire tail here. So when I die cut this, I'm probably going to run it off about like that. So I've just got these 3 pieces here. And my white. Another piece of white, which isn't really scrap, but handy for right now. So I'm just going to put these on, kind of utilize as much room as I can. Run these through. Let's see. I might have to run this through again just one more time. Just to be safe. I had one that didn't cut all the way through earlier, so. And my plates are so bad. Look at this. I need a new plate really bad. They're not that expensive either. I don't know why I never buy them. Okay, so pull that off. Oh, we have to die cut this too. So I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to hold it down with my Post-it tape. I think I heard the mailman just now. You guys, I'm so excited because I think my paper pumpkin comes today. I'm one of the lucky ones. I get it pretty early. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm just, I don't know why. I'm not that much closer to Utah then. But. Okay, so here we go. Let's design. This is the fun part. Oh, the sentiment. And the sentiment uses the Everyday Label Punch, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite punches. And so we are going to use the sentiment from Dragonfly Garden. So these two kind of came out as a suite some time ago. I just love the sentiment for the calendar page because it says, "May good things grow all year long," and I thought that was perfect. So we are going to stamp this out real fast, and we're going to do Soft Succulent. There we go. Now we're done with that. And punch this out. This sentiment fits this label punch perfectly. I love a good punch. All right, this is going to go like so underneath. Then we're going to put some grasses in here like that. And then I can tear off this because I'm going to just kind of put that in there. like so. So does that match what I had done? Yeah, pretty good. So now we just have to glue everything down. So I'm going to not pop this up because I have dimensionals underneath here. So I'm going to glue this down first. And I'm going to put this back in place so that I can kind of, so I don't want to cover that hole up there. This is why I love the glue. My watch is telling me to breathe. Breathe. It's been a busy Monday. Okay, so that's down. I am going to pop this guy up. So let's grab some dimensionals. Like crap, I've been going through a lot of dimensionals lately. This calendar project does use quite a few. Let's use some scraps here. Get my hair out of the way. You guys, I was cleaning, defrosting my freezer, speaking of my hair, the other day, and I was so grossed out because there was my hair like on every shelf embedded into the ice that had built up when you defrost. And my husband is like, your hair is everywhere, Cheryl. It's in the freezer. I don't know how that happens, but it cracked me up. And it gets into my dimensionals. I'm missing a piece of grass. What happened to it? Did I drop it? Do I have an extra one cut? No, of course I don't. Where did it go? It must be. No, it's not on the ground. Huh. Don't you love it when that happens? All right. I gotta cut another one. That's all right. It'll be fast. Fast, fast. So weird. It was just here. Okay. Back here. Now I think it's safe to put this guy down. And I find it easier to center things when my hands aren't in the way, which is another reason why I love tweezers. I got dimensionals on that. That's straight, yep. Then we're not going to glue all these little dots because I kind of like a little bushy texture going on with this thing. I don't know, you won't know what it is. It's a dandelion shell after all of the dandelion stuff. Fluffiness is gone, I think. That's what it looks like to me. Like so. So I'm just going to put glue right there in that center spot right there. And then for these, slide this in just like that. And that one's going to go just like that. Oh my gosh, I love it. Isn't that pretty? Okay, let's punch it. Here we go. I was so nervous to punch these out the first time I did it for all 12 of those because I thought, oh my gosh, what if I don't like it punched? I've just ruined it, but it turned out good. So I'm just following the circle I had drew on there. And there you have it. So again, this is not the same size because we pull an audible and changed it up at the last minute. Thanks to somebody by, I think, by the name of Mary Bells, but I'll have to verify that. So now you just create your calendar pages and then you grab, this is the twine I used. It's not Stampin' Up! Twine, but you could use Stampin' Up! Twine. This is just a little bit more durable, I think. And honestly, I just cut a strip and I pushed it through all of these holes, and then I just tied it in a knot. Here, I'll do it. We'll cut one out. So line these guys up. This might be harder to get through the whole bunch without, oh, there it is. So literally I just set it on its end like this and went like that. Leave a little bit of slack, don't pull it super tight. And then I just tied a double knot like that. And boom, it's connected. So there you have it, guys. This is my calendar project. Now I wanted to go through, you don't have to stay with me for this part if you don't want to, but for those of you that wanted to case this, because there were several people that asked if they could, and of course you can always case any of my stuff. I case all people's stuff all the time, and you are always welcome to case mine. So this was January using the Snowflake Wishes and the Snowflake Wishes dies. Now I did use the snowflake paper that came with that suite. This paper is no longer available, but I think that there's some new coordinating paper in the catalog that you would be able to find that could work with this if you don't have any more of this left. This was the, I think I told you it was these Many Hearts dies, and the paper is also retired. The paper was from Art Something, here it is. The paper was this one, which was True Love Designer Series paper, and I just love the black and white, but that one sadly is also retired. Okay. This is from the Bloom Where You Are Planted suite, and there's no sentiment on here, but I did use the dies to cut out the little pots, and the paper comes in the suite, and that's still currently available. This is the hand penned suite. Anything is Possible is from that stamp set. This is stamped with Highland Heather and I think it's Mint Macaron with the garden green leaves and Pool Party for the base, and the DSP paper that came with the suite. This one we talked about already is retired. Look at all these in your view. The Berry Blessings is retired. We replaced it with this one. Then we're on to June, which is the Ice Cream suite. Let's see. Sweet Ice Cream stamp set, which is still available. The paper is not. The coordinating paper that goes with the Sweet Ice Cream stamp set is retired, but this paper that I used here is from the Pattern Party, which is your host paper. So if you host a party and spend $180 or $150, I think, you're eligible to get this host paper pack, which is amazing paper pack. And that is a Flirty Flamingo base. This is Real Red with Pattern Party DSP on the background. These I just hand cut flags. Simple as that. And the little, I stamped color on tone on here. And then this I used the dots embossing folder to impress dots on those two white flags. But this is the stamp I used to adhere the stars onto the flags. So there's that, and I just used some random embellishments that I had. This is from let's see, You're a Peach Sweet. Oh, I have to say one more thing. This came from the Many Messages stamp set, and there was more to this sentiment than I can remember, but I masked it out because I just wanted the word celebrate. But this is a really good example of poor placement for my design because look, I had to punch into my red popped up sentiment, which I thought didn't look very good. So I learned kind of a lot when I did this very first one. Like I said, I call this V1. This one's going to be V2 when I finish it. And then Your Sweet as a Peach stamp set, is that what it's called? Your Peach. And this is the sweet with the paper, Pear Pizzazz. Don't remember the ink colors, but it's probably Cajun Craze with Mango Melody. And then I die cut these little flowers to go with it. This is retired twine. It's the linen thread twine that's retired because it's flat and wide. But again, you could use the current baker's twine that's available. This was Beauty of the Earth Suite with paper, and this die is from, no, hold on, I have it. Is it here? No. Where did I get that die from? It's, oh, you know what? Is it from this one? Yeah. It's from the same set, Stitched So Sweetly. So it's this guy right here. That's what I used for this one. And then Cajun Craze, and I hand stamped and die cut using the coordinating dies, the trees. I think this was my favorite one to make. This is a brand new Halloween set that's in the mini catalog, and this is the Frightfully Cute bundle. And it comes with the dies for the spider web and the tree. And then I think this is a different, I have to tell you, I think that's a different Halloween set. I know that I used, this was Banner Year I used for Happy Haunting. But the pumpkin, where did I get the pumpkin from? It's a new set. Rightfully Cute. No, here it is. It's from Clever Cats. So there's the pumpkin. And I didn't use this to stamp them because this doesn't actually match the perfectly here. So I just stamped the black and white, and I used my pumpkin pie marker to color him in. So there's that. Season of Thanks. These are the Lovely Leaves, or yeah, Love of Leaves stamp set and coordinating dies. Season of Thanks is a sentiment from a retired set from last season. I think that was the name of the stamp set, Season of Thanks too, but that's retired. I couldn't find it because I don't have some of the newer sets yet, so I didn't have a good November sentiment to use. And then these are Genial Gems. And the Days to Remember stamp set comes with these cute little things that you can use to mark off days. Like this is that guy right here, and it's just like a little circle. Or you can use stars, hearts, flowers to denote days to remember as you're going through your calendar making it. And then lastly, we have Merry Christmas, and that was the Heartwarming Hugs DSP, which was last year's version, but is still current now and available in the mini. This is the sentiment from, it coordinates with the Pine Tree Punch. Where did I get that from? Oh, Perfectly Plaid. Perfectly Plaid sentiment, I think, has that. So, and the other thing that I wanted to mention is I might get some reinforcement tabs to put on the back of all of these holes on the back side that you wouldn't be able to see, just to add a little bit more reinforcement in case the twine starts to wear down a little bit. I didn't do it on this one, and the other thing I didn't do on this one is I didn't notate the year. So I don't have any stamps or dies that are numbers that I could just manually stamp on. At least I don't think I do. So I was kind of stumped with that. So I just decided to leave it. I don't know if any of you guys have any ideas about that. I would love to hear them. So maybe I could put just a cover on it that said 2022. I don't know. Would be open to hearing your ideas on that. Because right now I have no idea to note what year this is for. So, okay, that's my spiel. I don't know how much time that took, but hopefully you're not totally bored and you hung out this long. All of the products that I used, with the exceptions of the ones that I said are retired, are available in my online store. If you don't have a demonstrator already and you are interested in buying some of these products to create this awesome gift set, let me know. Yeah, I'd love to earn your business. And it's celebration time right now, so don't forget that. For every $50 you spend, you earn a free product from the celebration catalog. And there's some really great things in there too. If you need a catalog or you need to see the brochure, just ping me, let me know. I'd be happy to send you something, either electronically or a hard copy. I'll do it either way. And let's see. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe to my channel so you know when I got other things coming out. And it also really helps me broaden my reach as far as YouTube. And I'm on a goal to get to 1,000 viewers, subscribers, I should say. And I'm quite a ways off, so I'm working on that. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Okay, that's it. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.